2023 er godt i gang. Første kvartal det er ved at være slut, og regnskaberne de er faktisk væltet ind. Det har været en travl kvartal, og det har det bestemt også været for selskabet, vi skal møde i dag, Aquaporin, som jeg mødte dem i januar måned, og vi talte om, at der skulle ske en del, og det er der gjort, det kan jeg love jer for. Det skal vi høre om. Det handler om rent vand, det handler om rensning af drikkevand, og det bliver vi klogere på i den næste kvarters tid, hvor vi skal tale med Aquaporin. Og jeg er stadigvæk på dansk, selvom jeg går på engelsk lige om lidt, så velkommen til dig, Claus Juhl Wulff, CFO, og to you, Matt Boskowski.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the CEO.
Yes.
And jeg gik over til engelsk. I went to English. That was not a good problem. That was not good, but I will be here with you and. For both of you, welcome here in the studio.
Thank you.
It's not been that long since we were here last time, but we agreed that if you actually achieved on reaching the goals that you set yourself, then we would meet up. And now we're here. You just came out with your annual report today, yeah. And a lot of news has actually already happened. So yes. we spoke about this before this little broadcast, and you said it's been quite a good quarter.
We are super satisfied. It's really been a fantastic year, and 2023 is going to be a good year for us.
Okay, because we will take an introduction so that you out there can take a brief look into the technology, of course. And again, as I always say, this is not recommendation, but it is to make you, to have a better insight into the company's products. So you promised, Matt, to give us a short introduction
yes.
to the company, and let's look into it.
Sounds good. So just to let you guys know that some of the things we'll be discussing are going to be forward-looking, and given that it's the annual report, it's important for us to mention that. I won't say more than that about it. So let's talk about Aquaporin. Just a very quick introduction of who we are. As we mentioned last time when we were here, we are based in Denmark, of course, listed on the Nasdaq in Copenhagen under the AQP ticker. And we really are a company that is rethinking water filtration with biotechnology. That is what makes it unique. We're one of the very few companies in the world that does that. We have our core technology, which we call Aquaporin inside. And we take this technology and we put it in all of our products. Yes. Then we are in drinking water, industrial water, and food and beverage. We have 86 employees, present in 5 countries today, selling globally, a very culturally diverse company backed by pretty strong cornerstone investors. Yeah.
So it's a growth company within the water technology sector.
Yes.
And on a growth journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And this is some small information, which of course last time we looked more into it, and we will look into it later on. But that is a little bit about the membrane and the technology.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'd like to say here is that it's we have a toolbox that's a little bit different from other companies out there. We have biology, chemistry, and physics. By physics, what we mean is how we make the membranes, and that's what makes us unique. All the other membrane companies in the world really use chemistry and membrane kind of physics, what we call. In addition to that, we have the biotechnology. And then with this, we create membranes that have a better energy efficiency or give you better flow. So in a nutshell, that's what we do.
And how many years have you been working, or the company been established?
We've been around for more than 15 years now. So quite some time. I mean, the biotech took quite some time to develop. And the last 3 years, we really ramped up commercialization.
Yeah, and you entered the team, and also you, Claus.
Yes.
And today, was it your first annual report?
It's the first annual report for us that I presented. I had a few quarterly ones, but the first annual one.
But, congrats on that.
Thank you so much.
You did well.
So, but anyway, you have some highlights. We agreed that you would take us through the highlights, and we can come back also to the technology. Yes. But let's hear about the highlights.
Sure. I mean, one of the key things for us this year is really we achieved some commercially traction. So we actually, we did deliver 243% growth. So I think you mentioned growth company in the beginning. We definitely feel we fall into that category. So we're at 30.6 million of revenue. Still a small number, but I mean it's growing quite rapidly. So this is actually above our original guidance. We actually came out with the original guidance between 20 to 30. So even though that we had actually anticipated to sell to Russia, we ended up above our guidance, that even though we had to kind of stop that revenue already in February 24th last year, obviously. So really happy with the revenue numbers. On EBITDA, it came out with a loss of 89.9 million kroners before special items. Again, better than our guidance. The guidance was between -90 to -100. And this even after that we took a few judgments. So we took some write-offs. So we had some. We found Matt and I that we had some old inventory lying around. The growth companies they sometimes tend to be just stuck around.
Yeah.
We wrote it off, so we have removed some of the risk we look into as well. And we also took some. We had some old items we sold in the early days that we potentially want to replace. So we actually made provision for that as well. So we're going out, out of 22 in a very good way in terms of our provisions to it.
Yeah, and you two of you have a clean book in the sense that you don't have
There's no baggage.
No, exactly. So
exactly.
Great.
Which we also in terms of we met with the board yesterday, obviously, and they're really happy that you don't bring baggage with you forward. So that's a nice one.
Yeah.
We only came out with 29 million of cash at the end of the year. Which could be very troublesome, but we actually, one of the things we discussed last time we were here was that we're working on raising more capital, and in February we were actually able to raise another 74 million Danish kroner, really good. I mean, it was actually good because it was a mix of our existing shareholders, and actually some quite good new ones that also came in. So it's a good mix of that as well.
And that was part of the roadmap for a development company as you are, with all the employees and all the things that you're doing. It was part of the roadmap, yeah?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, if you read some of the news that are out today, we are looking at some point in time, perhaps going for the last, hopefully, tranche of capital within, let's say, 12, 15 months or whatever, something like that.
Would that be the shareholders, listed shareholders, or would that be a private placement, if we call it like that?
We are investigating everything.
Okay.
We're not our ruling. We call it looking for financing, and we'll do whatever's the best and right for the company.
Okay. And how do we secure as shareholders that it's the best for the company? Is it best for us as well? That's of course your obligation, I think.
I think we're trying to mix it with having, say, some long-term investors, but actually also we look this time to get a few ones that potentially will also actually get more shares out in selling.
Okay.
Because one of the things, if you look at our share, is that there's very low volume out on trade every day.
Okay. Yeah.
So actually increasing that part is something that we actually were quite happy with that we actually achieved in
Okay.
this way.
We will get back to who actually joined you, but So is that you also have something that we will look when we look forward to 23? We come back to that.
Yeah.
So
Just probably want to just allude to that we actually did also not only did we write down this slow-moving stock, but it's not an excuse to use special items, but this time we actually had 5 million of inventory for this Russian customer that we were actually just waiting to ship. Now we don't want to ship it, so we've written it off as well because we don't foresee that we can do that in the short term.
Okay, but there's both progress, but also calmness in the sense that you got your capital for say. Is that 12, 18, 24 months?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay, great. But we will get back to you as well. But now, Matt, over to you, because we were agreeing on, giving the audience what they like news, and in that sense, short highlights on what happened in 22, but of course, the main focus on the 23 and the first quarter.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Take us through a little bit of that.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll start with a few of the highlights from last year. I think we established a few partners. I think if you look at Aquaporin in 2022, we really laid the foundation for growth in 2023 and beyond. Partnership with a company called Forward Water out of Canada that allows us to play in areas of the industrial space. Things like lithium, for instance. Things like produced water in the oil and gas space.
Okay.
A few things also, we landed a really important pilot with Gallo. Gallo is one of the largest wineries in the world. This pilot is something that allowed us to test our membranes and so on, and then that actually converted into an important deal in 2023 that I'll touch on in a few minutes. Yeah. A lot of really interesting things. For instance, we delivered our first container for the industrial water treatment in China, so we call this our Belief container. Again, that is to treat some very tough to treat wastewaters. So all in all, a lot of really big sort of milestone events, I would say, in 2022. You heard us talk about PFAS last time. We did also a really important study with Aarhus University that proved that our systems can remove PFAS upwards of 99.9%. And all of that has laid this, what I would say, the foundation for the traction that we've already observed in 2023.
And you're driving on so to speak. You have the industrial segment and you have the consumer segment.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there is key events. There is a guy standing like this, looking. Who was that?
You know this guy? Yeah, he's right there. Yeah.
Okay. Congrats. You were a key event.
Yes.
Yeah. But then into the first quarter of 23.
Yeah.
We're only 3 months here, but you managed to get some milestones here.
Yeah.
So let's take us to the next slide and some of the highlights. You have a little surprise for us?
I have a little surprise.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe we'll start with the surprise. So, we've announced that we are signing a partnership with Andersen and Nielsen to distribute. Basically, we sell our A2O Pure or A2O line of products. We have the Pure, which is the product here. We also have the Bar, which is a little bit more complex product. But you also heard us talk about PFAS. We brought this in because this product, and maybe I'll open it up here.
And for all of us, PFAS has been very much in the media as not securing the grid, polluting our drinking water more or less.
Exactly, and that's we looked at that and we thought, okay, we have a purifier. Let's test it on the waters in Denmark. Let's see what happens to PFAS content. And we've noticed that it removes upwards of 99.9%, which is basically to non-detectable levels. And that's the purifier. That's the purifier that has 3 filters in it. It has the first one just removes things that are maybe visible to the naked eye, like little particles, things like that. It's called a pre-filter.
You put it under the sink, right? And
yeah.
So just to let the viewers, you put it under the sink and then you actually do it with their drinking water from every day. Yeah.
Exactly. So you would imagine your kitchen, you install this under your sink. Then it's a fairly simple installation. You have 3 cables here, 3 lines that you hook up. It's something you can do yourself at home. You could also hire a local plumber. They'll have no issues doing this.
Okay.
And you connect it to your tap, and then you can have your clean water dispensed.
And you just explained it's the clarification is coming through here, or what is?
Yeah. So this is the first filter that pre-treats the water that comes in from your tap, from your city water supply. Then this membrane here is really where the core of Aquaporin inside happens. This is the reverse osmosis membrane with Aquaporin inside. That's the one that removes the PFAS, the viruses, the bacteria, and so on. And then we have this final filter that just ensures that if there's any chlorine and things like that in the water, it's a carbon filter, so it absorbs any kind of smells or tastes and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So that came out this quarter and is now for sale.
Yeah.
Where about?
So we are working with a company called Andersen and Nielsen. It's on sale through their website. You can get directed to their website if you go on aquaporin.com. There is a list of different distributors. Andersen and Nielsen are our distributor for Scandinavia.
Okay. Yeah. So it's at least for me, it's exciting. Also having a listed company with a tangible product that and I know consumers are also interested in, and there could be someone out there interested. And I have been negotiating maybe a small discount for members of Shareholders Association, but let's see. But that's out now.
Yes.
Now
that is out now. That has been one of the things we've been working on a lot last year. It's ready. It's it has a little Danish flag for Danish design. Yep. So we're very proud of our product.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
And we're able to deliver now. It's not like if you buy a car, you need to wait for many months. They're ready for delivery immediately.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
But, so that was the one thing, and then we can take the present away because you have other things.
We do.
Yeah. So that was at least if we then go to some of the finance stuff. Yeah. You managed to get a good deal, so to speak. You managed to get some fuel for the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happened and who came in?
And we basically first went out to our cornerstones, because we're really proud and happy with our cornerstones. We have a very close relationship with them. So that's one thing. I mean,
the existing
key investors. Yeah. And one of them actually moved about 5%. That's Topsøe. Topsøe has been an investor with us for a couple of years now, and we're super proud to have them as very engaged and positive investor with us. And they crossed the 5% mark with this increase as well. So that's really good. Otherwise, I mean, we had a few banks, both from Denmark but also from UK that actually went in also putting in as new money into our
And the bank, is that investing share capital or is it loans?
It's only share capital. We have no loans, no borrowings. We have the most boring balance sheet. We have cash and we have equity.
Yeah. And how much did you receive?
Yeah, we raised 74 million.
74 million Danish kroner.
So, I mean, it was quite nice. I mean, it was the amount we kind of put forward that we were looking to do. So. Quite successful now.
Also in maybe not the quietest market, and then also it's a good thing to have that negotiation.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. It's been easier.
It has been easier.
Yeah.
So and then you have you have more news, but there was this was it Gallo or was it Gallo?
Yeah, and Ernest and Julio Gallo, which is a really large winery in the United States. They're in California. What is really unique with Ernest and Julio Gallo is that they are working on some of the most innovative ways to make wine, to concentrate things, to figure out how to be a dominant player in the industry. I think what is really cool about this particular partnership with them is we did a pilot last year, and it's a perfect example of a pilot going well, converting into a joint development agreement. And so what we want to do with Gallo is to really work on the next things that we could do together with our technology to change a little bit how they do things in the wine space. Okay. So it could be disruptive. We hope it will be. It's a multi-year development program that we have on the go with them.
Okay, so that's the industrial, but it's a new industrial focus. You're having it.
It's in food, so we consider that in food and beverage. We actually also, when we focused our applications, we decided to call forward osmosis market development, and in that market development we have a few key initiatives. That particular initiative with Gallo is one of the sort of flagship initiatives for us.
Interesting, interesting to learn more.
And maybe just to add on this one, this is when we did the prospectus, when we did the IPO, we actually did already talk about some of these opportunities. Yeah. This is actually one of them, or these kind of solutions that are now materializing and becoming more tangible and could potentially be really next big thing for us.
And within wine, which is not as bad. Not bad when you go to the US and
they do a lot of wine. I mean, they actually consume between a fourth and a third of all grapes produced in California. They actually consume that, so it's not a small consumer.
So what's the feeling like here? We're ending the first quarter soon, and we of course also have a small time here for the outlook. But any other news that you want to take us into, or should we take an outlook?
I'll say maybe two quick things. One is, we talked quite a bit about Philips previously. I think I'm not going to say much more about Philips other than it is really becoming a strong repeat customer for us. And amongst other customers, Philips is one that allows us to actually build our order book going into 2023. So if you think about the guidance that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, out of that guidance that we're putting forward, we have a good visibility to more than 50%, which really means that we're solid for 2023.
So that is actually partnerships proving your technology, proving the business, somebody who is believing in you, which is for you as a CEO is like that's a good thing.
It's super important to me. This is the biggest proof you could have is a customer that buys over and over and they value you. That's the best proof for a CEO, of course.
And it's a completely new thing for us. I mean, when we entered into 22, we didn't really have a significant order book, so it's. It also gives the CFO a little bit more calmness.
So let's take the outlook.
So said we did 30.6 million of revenue in 22. Our guidance is between 50 and 70. So we're actually looking to double the revenue in 2023. We're looking to do an EBIT between minus 95 and minus 105. Also an improvement. We did 108 negative in 2022. We actually also lean a little bit forward, saying, okay, we can actually make more money on our products. We did a normalized gross profit margin of 28% in 2022. We are now saying we will do more than 30% on gross profit margin in 2023. So actually earning more money per krona we have of sales. And also just to prove, that even though we raised money, we're not buying fancy machines or anything. Our capex, our investments, are actually quite modest, so we only anticipate to have investments in the range of 10 to 15 million.
Okay, but still you have the EBIT of minus like 100 million. Is that because you're still investing heavily in like you're aiming high, so to speak, in markets that are expensive to get into?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say so. I mean, we actually have a very stable cost base. That's so we are not. First of all, we're not growing our cost base.
No.
The same cost base as we had in 2022. But yes, we are keeping relatively large investment in R&D because we do think our real value comes when we materialize on that in the coming years.
And when is that? If we look at it as an investor, is it like a 2025 year that we want to sort of that we should look at? Of course, we would like to see the share price go up, and you would for sure as well. But when is that?
It will be breaking news if we kind of set it a year to you. So, Michael, you're not getting that from us. Within a few years, officially, so you're not far off. I mean,
okay, but of course, it's year for year. You take a year for year.
But we start to be able to see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. We can see our way to profitability, which is new for this company. A couple of years ago, I think we were working towards profitability, but there was a bit of a way to it.
Just one thing on the profit margin, I think. One of the things that you see here is 30% or more. The reason for that is that we're constantly working on the supply chain as well to figure out how can we lower the cost of production, how can we get volume customers that are going to allow us to do that. Also, as we transition slowly from drinking water towards other areas of forward osmosis, the added value that we bring is calculated differently for those customers. So the minute you start touching process streams, whether it's grape juice, wine, milk, or things like that, you bring more value to the customer because you touch their product, and that's what allows us to also grow the margins.
Yeah.
So this transition, depending on at the pace at which we do it, is what's also going to dictate how quickly can we drive those margins to 30 and more, which of course then impacts how quickly we're going to be breaking even, right?
Yeah. So. And that is what of course you guys want us as investors to follow. And just here in the end, what are you doing investor relation wise? You're talking to institutional investors. You're trying to tell the market that it's not the new Aquaporin, but it's the Aquaporin that is, getting there. Or what is the message to the market?
Well, the market, we try to engage a lot with the market. We try to be very active in our communication, especially on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all this kind of thing. Make sure that people are actually able to follow what we do. We try obviously to everything we can in terms of announcement or press releases. So sometimes difficult to get a press release in the press, but we try and we manage. But making sure that people have access to what we're doing. And I think one of the other things is that if you actually reach out to us for investor relation, you get hold of us. You don't have somebody sitting kind of filtering it. It is actually Matt and myself that you get hold of. We're quite happy to. I mean, I engaged with a few investors emailing me on the investor email this morning after we announced it, which I found extremely valuable. Yeah,
which is also a message to the viewers out there that if they have any questions, anyway, want to engage, just go to aquaporin.com. So thank you so much, Matt, and also you, Klaus, for coming in here and showing us the new product and the news. And I'm looking forward to. You actually told me that there was news coming up, hopefully later on. So hopefully I will see you later on this year. And
we will be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.